Foundation Module 3, UHS Modular Integrated Undergraduate Curriculum Physiology, Dr. Sheen, CEO and founder Medical Superfast, Simplified Physiology, Video Lecture Notes, Guyton and Hall, 14 edition. Chapter number 5, Lecture number 1, page 63. Learning Objective. Explain the physiological basis of membrane potential. The physiological basis of membrane potential is fundamentally linked to the differential distribution of ions across the cell membrane and the selective permeability of the membrane to these ions. The normal value of the membrane potential is essential for many physiological processes. It is important to maintain the membrane potentials both at rest and during action by nerve and muscle cells. Membrane potentials, electrical potential, present across the membranes of all cells of the body. Some cells, such as nerve and muscle cells, produce rapidly changing electrochemical impulses at their membranes, and these impulses are used to transmit signals along the nerve or muscle membranes. Basic physics of membrane potentials. The potassium concentration is great inside a nerve fiber membrane, but very low outside the membrane. Membrane in this case is permeable to the potassium ions, but not to other ions. Large potassium concentration gradient from the inside toward the outside, there is a strong tendency for potassium ions to diffuse outward through the membrane. They carry positive electrical charges to the outside, thus creating electropositivity outside the membrane and electronegativity inside the membrane. Negative ions that remain behind and do not diffuse outward with the potassium. Within about 1 millisecond, the potential difference between the inside and outside, called the diffusion potential, it becomes great enough to block further net potassium diffusion to the outside, despite the high potassium ion concentration difference. In the normal nerve fiber, the potential difference is about 94 millivolts, with negativity inside the fiber membrane, minus 94 MV. Note: keep in mind, or concept of basic physics. Two forces are acting on potassium. One is concentration force, and other is electrical force. One force is moving, bringing outside, that is concentration difference. Other is keeping inside, that is electrical force. After that, both forces becomes equal and net diffusion becomes stop. Inside to outside, that force was moving potassium outside, that was concentration difference, but from outside, that force moving potassium inside, that is called diffusion potential or electrical potential or equilibrium potentials. In this case, the nerve fiber membrane is permeable only to sodium ions. So this time, with high concentration of sodium ions outside the membrane and a low concentration of sodium ions inside. These ions are also positively charged. This time, the membrane is highly permeable to the sodium ions, but is impermeable to all other ions. Diffusion of the positively charged sodium ions to the inside creates a membrane potential of opposite polarity with negativity outside and positivity inside. Again, the membrane potential rises high enough within milliseconds to block further net diffusion of sodium ions to the inside. The potential is about 61 millivolts positive inside the nerve fiber.